This is Moxie Comic Books. Let's talk comics. So, comics coming out for December 28th, 2016. Top of the list, the one that I'm most interested in out of DC Comics is Supergirl being super number one. Has a steep cover price. Its listed price is at $5.99. The writer is Mariko Tamaki, who has done Adventure Time and also releasing this week Hulk Volume 4, number 1, the one that focuses on the female Hulk. The artist is Joelle Jones. Both ladies are pretty famous, Eisner Award winner writer, Eisner Award nominated artist. Miss Jones has done Lady Killers, and the art for that was fantastic. One of my favorite indie books in the last few years, really. This looks to be kind of a coming of age story, casual in tone. Might be good for the female audience because of the character Supergirl being super. I mean, the title looks like they're kind of shooting for a pretty casual audience. But it kind of reminds me of Spider-Man. Apparently in this one, Supergirl is this alien who's, going through puberty, and she's trying to juggle being a high school student with her emerging powers, and her just trying to kind of navigate that complicated life, that balance between work, school, and, just being a normal teenager and being a superhero. Like, that just screams Spider-Man, right? So it'll be interesting to see if DC can pull off, like that kind of storyline. It being a number one, it's worth picking up, seeing how the series goes. I've taken a look at some of the preview art for it. Right now I'm just using the Midtown Comics website to show you guys the description and the information for the comic right now, just because they have the best interface. But if you guys go to Comic Book Resource, they have kind of a few pages of the preview up there, and the art isn't as good as Lady Killers. It's not bad, but it's still pretty good. And we'll see how this one goes. The other comic that I'm kind of interested in for this week is out of Marvel, Hulk Volume 4, number 1. The writer is also Mariko Tamaki, and the artist is Nico Leone. And this story is dealing with the fallout of Civil War II, which I don't know why that series, that storyline hasn't been great. Not as good as the original Civil War. So hopefully hopefully Marvel won't be doing a Civil War 3. Cover price is $3.99. And the gist of the story, I guess, is that it basically is dealing with the fallout. A post-Marvel universe without a Hulk, and Jennifer Walters, the female Hulk, is going to be given a shot to be the main character of the Hulk franchise. What's I'm not a big fan of that Marvel is doing right now. Number one, their numbering system is crazy. They got to work out their universes, their titles that have such and such 1.1 or such and such 1.mu. It's got to be off-putting to a comic collector, especially new comic collectors and comic readers. But this is another example of where I'm not really a big fan of Marvel's stuff. I'm interested in the storyline. I'm definitely picking this book up this week. I'm going to check it out. I highly recommend that you pick it up as well, but it's shipping with 10 covers. 10 covers. 2 of which have an MSRP of $15, and they aren't as good as the original. Here's the June Bergman cover. Here's the Pia Guerrera cover. And they both, even though they have an MSRP of $15, those variant covers aren't as good as the original, I think, by Jeff DeCal. So I don't know what Marvel is thinking by doing something like that. One of the variant covers is actually pretty decent. if you're a Scotty Young fan, and he does a lot of the baby covers. I'm a sucker for those, right? So I might be picking up maybe the baby cover version, but I mean, the regular cover is pretty good. I mean, the whole point of having a variant cover is to get, you know, an audience interested in a story with a cover that's better than the original cover, the regular cover. But in this case, Marvel, I think, hit, two misses. $15 MSRP, and they're not that great. Here's an MSRP $40 variant cover, right, by Dale Kwan. And, I mean, it's better, but is it worth $40? I don't know. I'd rather still just have the regular cover by Jeff DeCal, right? And you have an incentive retailer bonus variant cover, which, again, I mean, MSRP 500, get out of here. Get out of here, okay? Marvel, really, you gotta tone it down with the covers, right? I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad. The other title that I'm interested in is by Boom Studios, Kyle Higgins, artist Jonathan Lamb, bringing us Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 10. This is a standalone, and the cover is done by Jamel Campbell. And the cover for this issue looks amazing. So this is a standalone issue, and it seems to be dealing with Billy as the main character and all of his insecurities. I've heard great things about Power Rangers as a comic book, as in it's not bad, it's not great, but it's just decent. And I've seen some surprisingly good panels out of past issues, so I'm gonna pick this one up and just kind of give it a shot. It ships with 5 covers, and again, this is another comic where the original cover seems to be the best. So the variant cover, action figure cover, I mean, it's not my personal taste, but it might be yours if you dig these action, figure covers. And this one has Rita on it. This one is actually a pretty decent cover, right? But I would rather just still have this one. This one looks pretty tight. So I'm going to be picking up that book as well, and I highly recommend you pick it up as well this week. The other book I want to kind of bring attention to is Zombie Tramp New Year's Eve 2016 special cover by Dan Mendoza. It has a MSRP of $3.39. Several writers are involved. The artist seems to be Renee Cordova. Not really familiar with their work. I've never read Zombie Tramp or any of the other books that Dan Mendoza is associated with. But this looks to be kind of like a special issue, tying into the new year. I'm not really expecting too much out of this story. I mean, from my understanding, it's supposed to be a bit campy. And to be honest, I think that the variant covers for this title is what really drives the sale. I think it ships with 6 different covers, including risque covers is what they call it. But, I mean, they're just straight up like regular covers, but the same exact thing as the regular cover, but with just a little bit of nudity involved, right? So definitely worth picking up, I guess, for a good laugh, get into season, New Year's. Seems to be festive, and it might make a good gift, to fellow comic book readers in your life, especially if they're fans of, zombies or risque covers or Dan Mendoza. And another comic that I'm kind of interested in for this week, not because of the story, but just because of the cover, best cover of the week, I think, in my opinion, for the comics coming out this Wednesday, December 28th, is going to be Civil War II number 8, the Michael Cho cover. So he's been doing one of these covers for every issue of the series, and they look pretty awesome. This one in particular, I think, is one of his best works. It features Captain Marvel and Iron Man on the cover, and I'm really a big fan of these like retro Fight Night promo style covers. And if you're like me and you've been collecting every issue in the series, then this one is definitely one you want to add to complete the series. But even if you're not, support the work of Michael Cho, right? That's a pretty good cover right there. Has a MSRP of $4.99, so it's a bit steep. So those are the 5 books that I am going to be picking up for December 28th. I mean, in addition to like a bunch of other books, but these are the ones that I kind of want to highlight for today's video. Couple of other things in the news. Obviously, late today I found out that Carrie Fisher passed away. So 2016 still is the year that keeps on giving. And this was a news piece on comicbookresource.com. Apparently, the issue for Poe Dameron number 14 will feature a tribute to Carrie Fisher. According to the artist, I'm not the artist, I'm sorry, according to the writer, Charles Soule, there was a scene in the comic where, she's attending a funeral. Princess Leia is attending a funeral, and Charles stated, like, here's the quote: "There's a funeral in Poe Dameron number 14, and Leia is present." Writing that scene today wasn't originally about her, but now it will be. I don't know when Poe Dameron number 14 is supposed to come out. It's slated to come out in early 2017, but it seems like they're going to put a tribute to her in that issue. The artist, Phil Nadeau, drew this little sketch right here as a tribute to her as well. So be looking for that early next year if you're a Star Wars fan and if you want to pick up a touching tribute to Carrie Fisher's passing and whatnot. So, like I said, those are the books that I'm highlighting for the week of December 28th, Comic Book Day. If you are in need of, if you're a new comic book reader and you just don't know what to pick up, or if you're a seasoned comic book veteran and, you're just looking for other people's recommendation, those are the 5 books that I recommend for this week. Supergirl being super number 1 seems like a decent number 1 to pick up for DC. Out of Marvel, Hulk volume number 4, giving the Hulk, the female version, a shot at her own title. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Zombie Tramp New Year's Eve 2016 episode is the one I'm going to pick up. All right. Did I miss anything? What are you reading? What do you recommend? Agree, disagree with my selections? Comment below, subscribe, hit the like button. And once again, I'm really happy about being part of the YouTube comic book community. And in my next video coming out sometime this week, I will be promoting my first giveaway. Just to tease it, it will be the trade paperback graphic novel Alan Moore's Watchmen. Okay, so check back for that. And like I said, did I miss anything? What are your recommendations for the week of December 28th? Hit the like button, subscribe to support me. Agree, disagree, right? And see you for my next video sometime this weekend. Thanks.